Hey everyone, welcome back to another video in my pre-dental series. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how to decide which dental schools you want to apply to. Things that people might not think to consider. Okay, so to start off, I'm going to talk about my own personal experience and which schools I applied to. I mean, I'm not going to say which ones I'm applying to at this point, but I'm applying to 12 schools currently. It might end up only being 11, but I believe it's going to be 12. The way I did that, I figured it would honestly be easiest to make sure I'm not missing any opportunities. So what I did is I just made a Word document with every single dental school in the United States, and then I went through one by one and either kept it on my top page or I would copy and paste it and move it down onto the second page. Once stuff moved on to the second page, that meant I was not interested in applying there. And then I ended up with around like 20 schools that I was interested in, and I'm going to tell you in a couple seconds what factors I was considering. But I ended up with around 20 schools, and then from there I looked at those factors more deeply, and also especially cost. I wanted to keep it at 10 or below, but I figured 2 more isn't that big of a difference, and I want to have the best chances as possible to get accepted somewhere this cycle and start on my journey towards becoming a dentist. Okay, so I have 8 factors that I considered for picking dental schools, and then I also have 2 extra at the end that personally I didn't factor in, but could definitely be important to you depending on what kind of dentist you want to be. Number 1, and this is super important, is the location of this dental school, or like what city it's in, and that can mean how far it is from home if you're someone that doesn't want to move too far away. Or that can mean weather, that can mean if you want to be in a more urban location or a more rural location. So those are all things to consider, and you don't want to apply to a school that you literally wouldn't want to move to, whether it be too expensive, too far away, or you just don't like the environment there. So there's no point in wasting your money to apply to a school that you're not really going to attend purely based on the location. And the next 3 are, I think, relatively wide known, but then my last couple are things that I kind of had to pick up by talking more in depth with other people. The second one is going to be cost of applying. So you should figure out how many schools you're willing to apply to based on cost. This year it is $250, I believe, for your first school, and then $120, I think, for every additional school. Somewhere around there, maybe $275 for your first or something like that, but very expensive. You know your financial situation and how many schools are feasible to apply to. Keep in mind, this is an investment. Once you do get accepted to dental school, you will get a return on that investment, but it is a lot of money to put forward at first. Another thing with applying, it's not just the application fee. Most schools have a secondary application fee that you'll have to pay after you submit your application. So it's another anywhere from like $50 to $150 based on each school, but you can find their specific costs online. And you are eligible to apply to like fee assistance and like fee waiver programs. I didn't like look into that, but that is an option if that's something that you feel you need or are eligible for. And again, going along with costs, I think this is something a lot of people know about, but maybe they don't consider super early in the game. But you should be considering how much it's going to cost to attend an interview at this school, being optimistic that, let's say you do get an interview at every single school that you apply to. Granted, you don't need to go to all of them, but you probably want to give yourself your best chance of getting accepted. So if you're going to apply to 12 schools, make sure you're able to financially get yourself to every single interview, whether it be flight, driving, hotel, whatever you need. Factor that in to your budget as well with this whole application process. And this is my last factor involving money, but obviously the tuition of the dental school is huge. So this is going to vary, obviously, whether it's private or public and in-state and out-of-state. I personally would recommend applying to all of your in-state schools, whether that be 1, whether that be 2, 3, or 0, like whatever your options are. Definitely apply to your in-state schools. Some of the in-state schools that are private are still state affiliated, so you still get some kind of a discount for being an in-state student. So I think that's definitely one good place to start when you're going to be making your list. I know I'm applying to both of my state schools. I live in the state of Michigan, and if you are new here, I didn't introduce myself, sorry. My name's Haley. I'm a pre-dental student applying this cycle, going to be a senior next year at Michigan State, and I try to make some pre-dental related videos as well as different like lifestyle college content. Alright, so these last 4 tips I think are more unique and things that people might not think to consider. I think most people just mainly look at location and finances, but there are a lot more things that go into deciding on what school you're going to apply to. So first, being clinic experience. This is huge. You're going to dental school because you want to graduate being a practice-ready dentist, and the best way to do that is hands-on experience in the clinic working with patients. So you can find this online or by talking current dental students or talking with like admissions offices and everything, but you want to know how early do you get in the clinic, what are you doing in the clinic, how is access to patients, what kind of situations are these patients in, are they more challenging, are they more like day-to-day things. Not saying one is better than the other, but they're things that you need to consider, like how important that is to you when you're deciding. I know for me personally, getting a really strong clinical experience is extremely important to me, and getting into the clinic as early as possible was also extremely important to me when I was picking which schools I wanted to apply to. All right, so number 6 is about boards. So you want to look at boards passing rates, because you can't be a dentist even if you go to dental school if you don't pass your boards. So you want to look at their boards passing rate. Recently, it's kind of going through a change right now. The boards for dental school is changing. It used to be 2 parts, and now everyone incoming and future grades incoming are going to have to take a single part board exam their 4th year rather than one like 2nd or 3rd year and 4th year. And the difference is just that it's more integrated and everything. I don't know specific details, but that's something you can look up if you're interested. But I do know that dental schools should have already adjusted or should be in the process of adjusting their curriculum to tailor to this new board style. It should be more of like an integrated curriculum where you're learning more about like case studies and everything with your like coursework, like with your biology or biochemistry. You should be doing also like case-based, clinic-based situations so that you're able to understand how the science connects to what you would be doing in the clinic. So that is something you can talk to admissions or current students about, how they're adjusting, what kind of adjustments they're doing, or if they've already been on more of an integrated curriculum this whole time. And again, these are factors I've been considering, and that is also extremely important to me because I want to have an education that is preparing me to pass my boards and to be an educated, awesome dentist one day. Number 7 is kind of wide known, but I don't think people really actually consider it, and that is like what's on this school's website, like mission statement, values, like future plans. Like a lot of schools have just finished renovations or undergoing renovations, or kind of shifting, like I said, like adjusting curriculum, adjusting their mission, outlook, that kind of thing, to be more modern and more innovative, and yeah, just promoting like innovation and all that in the curriculum. So you can look on their website and everything and see what the school is about, see what their core values are, and see if those line up with like what you want to do. If you're someone that's really into service and giving back to the community, but it doesn't seem like that's like a big priority for the school, it's really not going to be a good fit for you, and you want to make sure that there's going to be the opportunities that you want at a dental school. And again, I keep using examples for myself, but like I am someone that wants to be involved in like the community of the dental school that I go to, and also like locally as well as internationally. So I want somewhere that has those international service trips and also has a lot of community outreach. I know that's fairly common with dental schools, but I definitely think some are better at it than others, so that's something that you can look into. And then tip number 8 is something that a lot of people, I think, don't do just because they don't know how to go about doing it, but that is to assess the atmosphere and how the students like it. So a couple ways that I've done that and that you can do that is through like online resources. So if you're in like the DAT Bootcamp study group or something like that on Facebook, they posted like a huge list of different students at like pretty much every dental school that we're willing to have you reach out to them, and you can ask some questions. In addition, using like alumni from your school, like predental club and everything, reaching out to them. And also kind of on a different end, one way that I've gotten a feel for the environment of the school and how students like it is by attending events at the dental school. So I've gone to, I believe, 4 dental schools in this past school year for like ASDA pre-dental days, or like ASDA student shadowing, just like different events put on by their ASDA where you can come and interact with the students, interact with faculty, do hands-on work, see the school, all that kind of stuff. And they almost always have some kind of student panel or a chance for you to talk with the students. So walking around the school, you get a feel for the atmosphere as well as talking to the students. They're going to be honest with you. Like, I know I've heard from word of mouth that some students tell people that they don't really like it there, or they don't think it'd be a good fit if you're this kind of person, whatever. Just things to consider, and obviously people there, everyone's gonna have different opinions, and you don't need to take one person's opinion as the truth. Obviously, everyone's gonna have a different experience, and everyone's gonna fit in to different schools in different ways. So I just think it's good to talk to as many people as possible and make sure that whatever school is gonna be a good fit for you. Alright, so we're getting close to wrapping up the video, but I just wanted to give you 2 more factors to consider. These are things that really did not weigh heavily on my decision at all, but I know that for certain people, depending on what your interests are, this might be really important things to consider. So first being research opportunities. Obviously some dental schools are more heavily involved in research than others, and if that's something that's really important to you that you did in undergrad or that you're just very interested in doing in dental school, obviously pick a school that's very passionate about research and innovation and sharing that research with the world, and also that is really keen on getting their dental students involved in research and pairing them with mentors and all of that. And again, if you're interested in research, a lot of dental schools offer like the DDS or DMD/PhD degree program, so that's something to look into if you are super into research, trying to find a school that has one of those programs. That might be a really great fit for you. And this is my final tip number 10, and that would be to look into the specialties offered by the dental school and also the percentages of students that go into specialties. And you can probably even find like which specific specialties if you did call up the admissions office and that was something that's very important to you. As of now, I'm just interested in general dentistry. I want to keep all my options open and do as well in dental school as possible. So if I do decide I really want to do a specialty, hopefully I'd be able to. But I do know that some undergraduates or non-traditional students that are still pre-dental do feel like they know 100% they want to do a specialty. So you want to go to a school that has resources for you to reach that specialty. I know for me this was something I really struggled with because I couldn't really find good resources online about like what factors I should be considering or what's a normal number. And as for what's a normal number, there's really no good answer. That definitely depends on your financial situation, your stats, your interests. Yeah, it really depends like what you're willing to compromise, how much you're willing to invest in everything. So I can't really answer that for you. Alright, so those are all 10 of my factors and things that you can consider when making your list of which dental schools to apply to. I hope that some of these were helpful and some of these were things that you haven't heard before. If anything was helpful, please let me know. I'll also have my Instagram here so you can reach out if you have more questions, and you could also leave them in the comments below. I do plan on continuing to make more videos throughout my application process, and hopefully if I do get interview offers, interview tips, interview experiences, all that. If there's anything else you want to know about the application process, please let me know. I'm pretty much finished up with like submitting my application. I still need to turn it in, but it's essentially all done. So if you do have any questions, please let me know. And other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. I'll see you in my next video.